Hello and welcome to week 13 of NFL Gamepicks. I'm Austin Ramos. We got Chris Wright and we got Joey Gross. Guys, week 12 was pretty interesting. Full slate of football for the first time in a while since probably like week 8, which doesn't seem too far, but still 4 weeks is a long time.
Didn't feel like a full slate though because of all the games on Thanksgiving.
How it was spread out for
Black
sure.
Friday,
For sure.
Sunday, Monday was a lame game, but yeah, it was pretty weird. But yeah, it was awesome to see every team play. It was pretty good for fantasy and just, overall just as a football fan.
How'd you feel about the Packers?
Man, shout out to the moon. Waxing Gibbous. The Lions are now 0-13 on Thanksgiving since the AFL-NFL merger when there's a Waxing Gibbous phase in the moon. I said it to my cousin, but when we took a little Thanksgiving walk before the game, and him and his girlfriend kind of laughed at me, whatever. I was right. I don't care. We took the W. The Lions stink. Now they don't stink, but you know what I mean. We got a good W there. We're the ball's in our court. We control our own destiny now. Provided a couple things happen in our favor, which I think they will. But that was a good W right there. Quality win.
Do you feel like it's like kind of the same position you guys were in last year? Remember, you guys kind of didn't start off great, and then everything started going right towards the end of the year.
I feel like it's better.
For sure. It's different.
Let me tell you why. Because we were in the same exact scenario in the same kind of month, October, late November, kind of going into December. We faced the Chargers, and then on a short week, we faced Detroit. We won both the games. Last year, we faced the Cowboys, won that game, and then faced the Titans, and then lost that game on a short week. So a little bit better. Overall, the same record at the same point of the season. But I think it's better just because of the young talent that we have and what we're showcasing. It's just I'm very excited. The energy's back. I'm ready to roll. Let's fucking go.
There we go.
Playoff push.
The reverse psychology is working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dolphins' big win on Black Friday. First time in NFL history a game was played that day. And it was mildly entertaining. That's to say the least. It was a fun game to watch. The pick 6 by Javon Holland was absolutely stellar. I was so hyped about that. And then the fact that Jalen Phillips went down was so sad. So sad, man.
Love that guy.
And then end all be all, freaking the episode of Hard Knocks this week was literally all about Jalen Phillips. I'm like, dude, you guys, why'd you guys do this? I don't know if they planned that, going into the game, but definitely coming out of it, they're like, oh, we got to make this all about Jalen Phillips.
Scriptwriters were cooking, to say the least.
Yeah, the scriptwriters. And then before the game, McDaniel was like, yo, this is your game to really step it up a notch and become a star in the NFL. And then
It's like the Madden curse almost.
no, a little bit
Hard
different.
Knocks
How about
curse.
the
I think they built it around them after, maybe. I don't know.
the Tim Boyle reverse Hail Mary? Shout out to the boy Tim Boyle, reverse Hail
bad.
Mary.
That was an absolutely sick play. And it was
tried.
funny. We were watching it at work, and we had it a little bit on a delay, and then everyone else who was watching it downstairs was in live time. So they're like, "Pick 6! Oh my god!" So I heard it before it even happened, but I was watching. I'm like, oh, and I was just so hyped. It was so much fun. But yeah, let's hope the Dolphins get a good win this upcoming week. But aside from that, I was happy with the performance. They did what they should have done against the Jets. Point blank and simple.
100%.
Monday night was a little bit of a snoozer, but we pulled it out just like I thought we
Hey.
would. And it came down to the final drive, and I was thinking, it's funny, I was thinking to myself, how many times has Justin Fields been in this actual position where he could drive down and win the game? And
They showed it. They showed
right next thing they showed it. It was he's 0-2, and I was like, oh man, all right.
I think it was
man.
0-2 this year, or it was.
I think in his career,
I think he has 4 potential game-winning drives.
game-winning drives. It was he hasn't won any of them, and I was like, oh man, come on, we got to change that here. He ended up doing it. It was crazy. There was a couple Vikings fans there, and they all left super early, and then it was just me, my buddy Brett, and a couple other Bears fans at this place. So it was pretty cool that I ended up watching it with some Bears fans for once. The game was actually pretty good. We couldn't score the ball, but hey, we won the game. Everybody always
without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, and everybody's always like, "Oh, do you want the Bears to still win, or do you want them to tank and get the draft pick?" No, we have Carolina's pick. Wherever that lands, let it land. I want us to keep trying to win games. Justin Fields needs to keep trying to prove himself that, like, we need to keep him, or are we going to take a quarterback with one of these picks? So I think it he might have bought himself a little bit of time, to say the least. He might have bought himself a little bit of time, but
I gotta agree. I mean,
I enjoyed watching the Bears win. I'm not gonna lie. So it was a decent week for Bears fans.
So sorry to cut you off there, but I was so upset watching this game. Not only because of like any like betting aspect, but like I needed Justin Fields, and I hate to say it, but like be like a healthy scratch. Like I just needed him not to play, and I would have won like 2 separate like fantasy games. And I was just like, man, and it was like so close. I lost by like 4 points in both of them. I was just like, he didn't have a phenomenal performance. I mean, the 2 fumbles was like huge detrimental to like your guys' like success going on the field, but
he's never really done that before, so
Yeah.
I'm not like too concerned about it.
But if it becomes a habit, then you're concerned.
It was bad. They were both terrible timing, just bad. Like we should have just won that game kind of easily almost, but it is what it is. Move on. One. It's still a W, no matter how you check it. So we're on to the bye week.
Yeah, one thing I must add is first time in a while that all of our teams have won in the same week.
Big W's all across the board.
I had a little running joke for a while. I had a little running joke for a while that only like one team of ours could win every week. And there was one week that none of us won, and it was pretty upsetting, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, that sucked.
But let's jump into the standings. We have Yadian on top. He went 11-5 last week and is on 120-60 on the season. He's pretty much running away with it. He has a 6-game lead on Hector. Hector's 114-66. I'm 113-67. And then also in 4th place, we also have Victor, 112-68. Everyone went 11-5 last week except for myself. I went 10-6. And then let's jump to Christopher.
Didn't have like a terrible week, but it wasn't great. So I fell a tad bit down to 7. I think I'm tied with the boy DJ. Actually, DJ's right below me. My bad. But I went 9-7. So I'm at what? Where am I at here? 109-71 on the year. But like, we're pretty close. And what are we, like 2/3 of the way through? There's still a lot of football left to be played.
Yep. Yeah, including the playoffs too.
So you never know.
Yeah, and then we got Joey.
Yeah, man, 104-76, you know, still kind of on the midder scale of the leaderboard, but, you know, had a nice week last week, went 9-7, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever, the Packers won, how about that?
One thing if you want to go real quick.
No, I was just going to say, you could easily get in like the top 6 or 7.
I'm gonna try, bro, but this is hard, man. I'm freaking trying my best here.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying you're not out.
I'm like a single mother here. I'm washing and drying, all right? Jeez.
Yeah. Like the separation between Joey at 11 and Chris at 7 is what about 5 games? So it's not huge.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's not a huge disparity, but there's just so many people here. But aside from that, the best performer of the week, I believe, goes to Troy at 12-4. Same with Andy Figueroa. Good stuff, boys. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting seeing how these standings go throughout the season, but some movement at the top. It's a little shaky, but Yadian's just starting to run away with it, so we got to find a way to slow him down. Anyways, let's hop into Thursday night football. And we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Dallas Cowboys, November 30th, 8:15 kickoff. This one, at first, was a little bit of a tough choice, but I think Dallas can come away with this win just because they've been on such a good roll. Seattle hasn't looked that great recently. A lot of injuries and just certain things just not going their way. Given they had a tough game against the San Francisco 49ers last week, I think it shouldn't be too far off from what happened last week to what's going to happen this week with Dallas, especially in Arlington. So just give me the Cowboys in this one. I think they can separate themselves. I wouldn't go with the spread, though. 9.5 seems a little steep for this type of competition.
I need the Cowboys here for the Packers' playoff chances to get better, and I think that they are going to beat the brakes off of the Seattle Seahawks here. No Kenneth Walker. Geno Smith kind of trying to fade out, show a little bit of his true colors. That offense is getting stagnant. The defense is I don't want to say abysmal, but kind of a no-show. I'm going with Dallas here. They're going to freaking light up the freaking scoreboard.
I think this game's going to be close, honestly. It's two pretty good defenses, in my opinion. I don't know about abysmal. They have a very young defense in Seattle, but, everyone keeps saying they're bringing back the Legion of Boom. I'm going to take Dallas at home, though. I think they're just a more complete team. Seattle is on a skid, lost the last 2 games. Hasn't looked great. I'd love to say this might be a good bounce-back game for them to kind of keep their playoff hopes alive a little bit. But it's hard to pick against Dallas at home.
What do we have next?
The next game, we got Arizona Cardinals traveling to the steel city of Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. I'm going to make it quick and easy. I'm going to take Pittsburgh at home. I think they're the much better team at this point. And that defense is just going to manhandle the Cardinals at home. So give me the Steelers at home. I think it's is easy pick to start off. What is that? The Sunday slate there at 1?
Yep. Yeah, I'm a little upset at you, Chris. Last week you got us all to flip onto the Arizona Cardinals, and they shit the bed, dude.
You're not the only one that's actually told me about that. We have a couple of listeners and viewers that have actually directly told me about that, and they're just like, "Yeah, never again with the never again with the Cardinals." I was like, I don't know. It sounded good. Sounded good enough for everybody to flip. So.
You gotta like become like a car salesman or something, dude. Like
so
right here,
slap it.
05 Honda, that's Kyler Murray. And let me tell you something, he's coming back, and he's coming back with a vengeance. Yeah, nah.
I will also go with the Steelers. Resurgence last week, first time since they had Matt Canada as their OC that they since the moment they had Matt Canada as OC till not having him anymore, they just eclipsed 400 yards for the first time since that moment.
Wow.
So, yeah, like in a single game. But yeah, I mean, the Steelers team is starting to find themselves. I think the defense can carry on pretty well. Their secondary is a little bit young, but as long as Minka Fitzpatrick can be there and like be healthy for that secondary, I think it can take them miles. The pass rush is already there with TJ Watt, so no problems there with them. And the Cardinals, wishy-washy. I think Kyler Murray can only do so much for them, just like similar to what happened with Josh Dobbs being there.
Yeah, this is really easy to pick. I'm going to go with the Steelers here. They're going to be 8-4. Extremely shocking that the Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-4. Probably one of the most boring team to watch in the league. But they did have over 400 yards of offense without Matt Canada, which is pretty cool for them. But yeah, they definitely have the better team. They are in the playoff picture. They are going to beat the Arizona Cardinals.
All right, what do we got next?
We got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to JetLife Stadium to face off against the New York Jets. This is a tough one because this seems like one of the games that Jets fans are looking at the schedule like, hey, we should be able to actually compete in this game. This might be a W here. You know, we get a W, we go to 5-7. We might have Aaron Rodgers back. They opened up the 21-day practice window for him today. So we'll see what happens. But I think Atlanta has other plans. They're in the midst of that divisional race over there. They could get a playoff spot. So I'm going to rock with the Atlanta Falcons to steal a win over here on the road against the New York Jets.
I like it. Atlanta did take control of the division last week, technically, with the win over the Saints. So now they're tied but have the tiebreaker as it stands. I'm going to take the Jets at home. I'm going to buy into the hype. That defense is really good.
Tim Boyle hype.
I'm gonna just say, like, Atlanta's not that great. So I'm going to take the Jets at home. Aaron Rodgers, they just opened the 21-day practice window, so the hype is back. They need a win. They've lost, I think, the last 4 games, I want to say. And Atlanta, before they just got that win, lost like a bunch in a row, too. So they're not like a great team either. So I'm going to take the Jets at home.
Yeah, this one I haven't like truly selected yet. Just because I'm kind of like stuck in between, right? You're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And both the rock and the hard place are kind of bad teams, right? The news about Aaron Rodgers. Congratulations, Jets fans. I mean, 21-day practice window. Let's see what happens. If the Jets start sliding a little bit more and more, personally, do not come back Aaron Rodgers because, like, you're just gonna open yourself up to re-injure yourself if you guys are not in a playoff position, right? But if there is a way that the Jets find themselves in a spot that they can start knocking off some wins and really seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, then sure, why not? In terms of picking, I'm going to have to go with the Falcons just because I think they're slightly overall the better team. But I like the Jets defense over the Falcons defense, and that's going to be the most crucial part of this game because I think both offenses are kind of mid. But if I had to give a nod to an offense, it would have to be to this Atlanta Falcons team. But continuing on, we have the Denver Broncos versus the Houston Texans. Denver is on fire right now. They're starting to win a lot of games. And then the Houston Texans was a crossbar away from tying up the game against the Jaguars and possibly sending it to OT. And then who knows what happens there after that. That was probably the more electric game of the 1 o'clock window, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. It was so good. But yeah, this one's hard because like I'm not sold on the Broncos, but I'm too into the Texans. You know, like there's like a fine line of like, all right, can I jump on board with the Broncos or do I just sell out for the Texans? Because I think they have the potential to beat the Broncos here, but I don't know what you're going to get from the Broncos each and every week. It's kind of weird watching them play football. I will have to go with the Texans just because I have a little bit more loyalty there right now. But if the Broncos win, then they're a serious contender. One, because they're 6-3, and they'll be – are they 6-3?
They'll be
6-5. My apologies. And then on top of that, just being in a contention for a playoff spot, they're right there in the thick of it. I think they're either in the hunt or they have a wild card spot. I think they're in the hunt.
They're in the hunt.
Yeah, because of some tiebreakers and stuff. But yeah, give me the Houston Texans here. I love them.
I'm going to rock with the Houston Texans as well. I totally agree with what you're saying. Like the Denver Broncos, they started off the season terrible. Now they're on a hot streak and everyone's like, hey, is Russell Wilson back? Is this offense back? Is Sean Payton back? Is everyone back? I don't really know what to make of it. You know, they're on a hot streak. They're looking for a playoff push here. But man, oh man, I am just so like turned on by this Houston Texans team. It is freaking amazing to watch every single week. Like, I don't know, just something about watching these rookies go to work. It's freaking awesome. Like, I'm just going to go with the Texans here. I like what they got going. I love the fact that CJ Stroud is incredible this year. I love the fact that they have incredible wide receivers named Tank and Nico. I think it's just a phenomenal offense and a phenomenal team with phenomenal coaching. I'm going with the Houston Texans here.
So, like, a lot of people, whoever can, like, really recall to last year, like, this is what I was envisioning for the Texans last year. They just didn't have the young stud QB and CJ Stroud to lead them in that position. I thought Davis Mills was pretty nice, but also they didn't have Tank Dell. But this is what I was envisioning what this team could be because I think things are starting to go in the right direction there, and it's looking really nice.
Man, it's hard not to pick Denver, honestly. After starting 1-5, they won the next 5 games. They're on the hot streak right now. They're one of the hottest teams in the NFL, if not the hottest right now. So it's hard to pick against them. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Houston with you guys. I took them last week, and they had a disappointing loss right at the end. But they have to have a bounce-back week to stay in playoff hunt themselves. And it's crazy to think that Denver's in second place right now, but I'm going to take Houston at home.
Nice. Who we got next?
Next game. Detroit Lions looking for a nice bounce-back win against the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. They didn't look great against the Packers. They got a lot of things to figure out, and Jared Goff needs to stop turning the ball over with fumbles and interceptions. If they can figure that out, they can win. The Saints' defense is really good. I'm going to take Detroit to have a comeback game, though, on the road. And, yeah, I think Detroit hopefully keeps people in beliefs that they're a good team.
If the Lions lose this game, they're in big trouble. I mean, come on. Let's be real. If the not in the overall aspect of losing a division or whatever, but man, oh man, the blueprint is out, and then these guys are crumbling at the wrong time. You know, literally fumbling though. But listen, I'm gonna pick them to win this game. They should win this football game here. This is obviously a matter of fact that Detroit has been one of the best teams in the league all year. They lost on Thanksgiving, the waxing gibbous, the whole deal. We knew it was going to happen. Okay, the Lions suck on Thanksgiving. The Saints, on the other hand, yeah, they're in contention for a playoff team because their division is so terrible. But, man, they just stink, dude. Like, I don't even know what to think of the Saints. It's so hard to pick them every week. But, yeah, this has got to be Detroit's game, right?
I hope so. I would agree with you. I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions as well. This Lions team starting to look a little fraudulent. Mm-hmm. So last week you were talking about, like, the curse of them playing on Thanksgiving. And then I saw the moon thing, and I'm like, man, should I change my pick to the Packers? But like I already had posted and all that stuff. I wanted to stay true to my word. But in all reality, like I probably should have. I should have just gone with my gut there. But yeah, this Lions team, man, if they, I think offensively they will struggle against the Saints because I really like the Saints defense. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the Lions defense. Can the Lions defense force Derek Carr to be uncomfortable and just really limit their running attack, because Alvin Kamara has been a really good running back ever since coming back. Mm-hmm. So that's the biggest telltale sign of whether or not this Lions team will come away with a win here. I'm going to keep it moving. We got the Indianapolis Colts versus the Tennessee Titans, a nice little AFC South matchup. This is a sneaky good matchup. Not because the Colts are starting to win a couple games with Gardner Minshew. I don't think they've lost a game with him starting yet. If I'm not mistaken. And then the Titans are just a young team right now, just trying to figure things out. It's kind of sad to see what happened to the Titans. They were running that division for a while, but couldn't make anything of it after their AFC, conference title game against the Chiefs? Yeah, when they had that nice playoff run. Ever since then, it hasn't been the same. They've been a decent team, but it's always been kind of lackluster. But I'm rocking with the Colts. I'm a little concerned with Jonathan Taylor being out for the next couple of weeks, but I think things can start going well in the Colts' direction. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans win just because the Colts just lose focus with Jonathan Taylor being out, because he's been such a huge addition back to the team that losing him could be very detrimental. But if Zach Moss steps into the role and has success being the running back one again, I think the Colts can run away with this one pretty easily.
The Colts are on kind of a hot streak. I'm going to take the Titans, though, at home. The Titans just beat the Panthers with pretty much just Derrick Henry riding the ball. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty much going to be the blueprint here, and I think it might be enough to beat the Colts. As long as Gardner Minshew doesn't turn it over a bunch, the Colts will have a chance to win this game, but I'm going to take the Titans at home just to kind of differ picks, and I do think it is kind of a toss-up game here, honestly.
Yeah, man. Listen, the Colts, shocking. They are in the playoffs as of right now, which is awesome. Minus an Anthony Richardson plus a Gardner Minshew. I'm going to take the Colts here, man. Listen, the Titans, probably the most underwhelming team in the league. I mean, there's a lot of them this year, but I mean, the Titans, they have Derrick Henry. They had Ryan Tannehill, DeAndre Hopkins. They were supposed to be better than 4-7 at this point at least. Come on now. But yeah, it's really disappointing to be a Tennessee Titans fan right now. I'm going to go with the Colts here. A lot of big things going for them. Even though Shaquille Leonard or Darius Shaquille Leonard or whatever his name is now is now a free agent. So we'll see what happens with him. We'll monitor that situation. But he was in a suite watching the Colts game over the weekend. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, a little weird.
We'll see. He's visited a lot of teams, honestly, too. So who knows where he's going to end up, honestly. But he's going to go to, like, a good team. It's going to be like the Eagles or something.
Didn't he visit with the Eagles and the Cowboys today? Or this past
Eagles,
2
Cowboys,
days?
and I think Chiefs so far.
I haven't seen Chiefs, but yeah. I wouldn't doubt it.
I was kind of hoping he would visit with the Dolphins, but Dolphins just signed JPP. We'll get to that when we talk about Dolphins game. But back to you, Joey, really quick. What do we got next?
We got the Los Angeles Chargers facing off against the New England Patriots. I'm going to go with the Chargers here. The Patriots suck. They're 2-9. They're probably the most awful team in the league. If they don't get the number 1 overall pick, it would kind of shock me because they look worse than the Panthers, and I'm pretty sure that they played the Panthers this season, and I expect them to lose that game as well. So New England Patriots tanking for the number 1 overall pick, whether that be Marvin or Caleb or Drake May or whoever the hell. But moral of the story, I'm going with the Herbert and Eckler. That combo needs to get me fantasy points this week. Let's go Chargers.
So you said that if it's a must win by the Chargers and the Patriots are tanking, right? So I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, if Staley does not pull out a win against his Patriots team,
fired.
Gone!
Fired.
That'll be the Monday morning news.
I don't know, man.
Oh,
fired.
100%.
He should have been gone by now, though.
Exactly.
Dude.
So this will be the final straw. If he loses
You
to
would
his
hope,
Patriots,
yeah.
the Chargers are not having the season they expected to at all. They expected to be in contention with the Chiefs for that divisional title. Given that division is tough within itself, I think you have a lot of good teams in that division. But at the end of the day, you're not winning these close games. There's a lot of scenarios where they're like, oh, the defense is helping out Herbert. Bullshit. Herbert is choking at the end of the games, and they need to address that situation as soon as possible. Staley's such a big analytical guy. Read the analytics. You're not doing well in some of those things. So let's start fixing those things up. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in a tough spot against Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots.
Chargers are last in that division right now. It is a shocker.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have picked them to be last.
No pun intended. But, yeah, exactly. Nobody would have at this point in the year. I think they're going to get the win, though. I've taken them a couple of weeks in a row, and they've lost 3 straight. This has to be the bounce-back win that we keep saying they're going to have. So I think they get the win. I don't know if the Patriots are tanking. I feel like Bill Belichick still coaches to win. So I don't
100%.
know. I don't know if I necessarily agree, but he's playing with what he has, and it's not as good as what the Chargers have.
One thing I want to add is, like, when the Dolphins were tanking, like, a lot, like, aside from, like, early on in the season, like, a lot of the games they were tanking in, like, it was close games. And then they just lost in the stupidest way. And not that it felt fabricated, but, like, it was just, like, it would only happen to us. Like, obviously, I knew what the situation was going on, but I just felt like they shouldn't have been in like those positions at the end of the games.
It's because you guys were paying everybody but Brian Flores to lose.
There you go. Yeah,
and that's why you were so close. Because he's like, I'm not gonna lose, and everybody else was getting paid but him.
It was like in the contract incentives to lose. Like, oh, how many games we lose, you get paid more.
We know they brought him on that yacht. We know the story.
Yeah, whatever. Speaking of the Dolphins, we have the Miami Dolphins versus the Washington Commanders. I'm not going to waste your guys' time. I think the Dolphins can run away with this game against the Washington Commanders. In terms of covering the spread, though, I don't... 9.5, it seems a little steep for me, and Dolphins are on the road. I wouldn't go too far with that, but money line is not too favorable with 450. Anyways, Miami Dolphins added JPP this week. That's a kind of not a panic move, but just an insurance due to the Jalen Phillips injury, which huge heartbreaker. And like I alluded to in the beginning of the episode, when they showed it on Hard Knocks happening, like they showed like the injury happening. They didn't show like his calf, thank God, because otherwise I would have just been squirming and like, because Chris knows I hate that stuff. But yeah, like that, I saw it and like I just like a little teary eyed. It was sad. I was really hoping for him to have a breakout year, and he was on the verge of doing that. And yeah, it's a big blow. Anyways, this offense needs to limit turnovers, and I think they'll be in a good spot. You don't want to be in a shootout with this Washington Commanders team. They've shown time and time again this season that they could go with the best of the teams in the NFL. So you just don't want that. They're coming off a bad performance against the Dallas Cowboys. Last thing you want to do is allow this Washington Commanders team a little window into possibly beating you. They are at home, so I'm expecting a good fight from this Commanders team, but Dolphins need to come out, be assertive, not turn the ball over. Point blank, simple.
The Dolphins just need to blow them out early. I think they will. I'm going to take Miami on the road. Washington were kind of sellers at the trade deadline, which was kind of weird. I mean, I guess if they wanted out, they wanted out. But, yeah, I'm gonna take Miami. You guys have a little bit of an easy stretch here before you have, like, actually a really kind of tough stretch to the end of the year.
The end of stretches.
So really you guys definitely need to win these easy ones, even if it's on the road. I think you guys will. So I'm going to take Miami in this one. I don't think it'll be a shootout, but Washington definitely has some wide receivers on that team too.
Yeah, no, last year I loved the wide receivers in the Washington roster. Like right now, Dolphins hold a 2-game lead on the Buffalo Bills in the division, so you want to stack up all these easy wins as much as possible. Certain games that like the Bills are losing, so you want to like definitely start building up ahead of steam so you can just separate yourselves from them and win that division.
Yeah, Miami's gonna easily win this game. They're going to improve to 9-3. Commanders are kind of on the verge of a rebuild type of thing. Don't really know what's going on over there. Don't really know how safe Ron Rivera's job is over there either.
Yeah, they're cleaning house.
Love Ron Rivera, but yeah, they are cleaning house. So this is kind of, like you said, Miami needs to win this game. This is one of the worst teams that they're going to play on their schedule. You need to stack your W's where you can. I am a little upset that I won't be playing Raheem Mostert in this game because I did trade him away because I feel like this is a game where every player of the Dolphins is going to go off in fantasy. But I am happy with what I got in return, so whatever. I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
Awesome. All right, what do we got next?
Got the Carolina Panthers traveling to Tampa Bay to face off against the Buccaneers. Panthers suck. Buccaneers kind of suck too. But I'm going to take the lesser of two evils. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. Panthers are, without a doubt, the worst team in the league at 1-10. They just fired Frank Reich midway through the season. He's been fired midway through the season in back-to-back seasons. So don't really know how good it is for a Frank Reich look, but it's also not good for a Carolina Panthers look either. We listened to the owner's press conference at work, and this guy was obviously backed into a corner. He was mentioning how he brought soccer to Carolina and that they had a great turnout when Messi was there. Nobody gives a shit about Messi, dude. You got the freaking Panthers are 1-10, dude. They suck. You just drafted Bryce Young, who can't see over his center. It's a bad scenario in Carolina. It's a crapshoot. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay.
It's so weird that even though they're 1-10, they're not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs just because of how bad the NFC South is. I hate to drag the NFC South. I hate to just drag any team in general, but yeah, this division is not great. But I expect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get a win here and just add on to their winning tally. But I don't. No one wants to win this division. They're gonna get like the toughest teams next year. On top of that, if they get into the spot, I believe they have like a top 18 pick. Like it's not a great spot to be in. They want to avoid that as much as possible. So if I'm the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you might want to win here, but at the end of the day, just start losing more games just to secure yourself a higher draft pick. I think you should let the Atlanta Falcons or Saints just battle it out, to be honest, and see what you can get.
I'm going to take Tampa at home. But speaking of the AFC South, if they do win this game, and if I picked correctly earlier with the Saints losing and the Falcons losing, then all three of these teams, I believe, would be tied. There might be some tiebreakers in there that I don't know about already, but they'd have the same record at least, which is crazy to think. But yeah, all of these, this is like one of the worst divisions in football, which is not too shocking. But yeah, I'm going to take Tampa at home. I'll keep it moving. This is another hard game here to pick. We got the Cleveland Browns going all the way out to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. I've had bad luck lately with picking road teams. I feel like Cleveland is the safer pick here, but I'm actually going to rock with the Rams at home. They're mostly healthy, while obviously the Browns are always banged up, even though that Browns defense is really, really good. I'm going to take the Rams at home.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, I'm going to rock with the Rams at home as well. You know, Browns defense is probably the only thing that they have riding for them right now because that offense is going stagnant without any quarterback over there. Not that DTR can't get it done, but I don't think that he's going to be able to lift them into the playoffs in a really competitive AFC. I think the Browns are obviously on the decline. So I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams here. They did get a big W last week, and I think they're going to stack one again and go to 6-6. The Packers and the Rams are kind of sneaky playoff teams here late in the NFC.
Yeah, and if they're not sneaky playoff teams, they're going to be teams that ruin some playoff hopeful teams' chances. So that's things to look out for in the future. I was stuck in between picking both of these teams. I wasn't sure who to pick. There was 3 games on this schedule for Week 13 that I wasn't entirely sure on who to go with, and kind of flip-flopping around. Myles Garrett is out. DTR is kind of banged up. Even then, you don't know who you're going to get at QB there in Cleveland in general all season long. It's been not a crapshoot, but it's just been a revolving door of guys going in and out.
Did he not get a concussion?
I don't know.
I think
DTR.
he did. Did he not get a concussion?
Oh, Joe Flacco is they just signed Joe Flacco.
So he might even play. But I'm pretty sure he got lit up. It looked really bad live, not so bad in slow motion, but he got lit up.
Did you see him after? He was like all bloody in his
Yes,
mouth.
I think he has a concussion, so he might not even play. So it might be PJ Walker or I'm gonna say PJ Watson, ex-Bull, but PJ Walker or Joe Flacco, I think.
Yeah. So Joe Flacco got signed last week, so he was on the sidelines, not suited up last week, and then he was practicing with the guys today.
Still an elite quarterback.
The most elite.
Dude's elite, bro.
Oh gosh,
dude won a Super Bowl, and everybody was just like, "This guy's so good," and it's like he was for like 2 years. Yeah, outside of that, he's like 38 right now. You're telling me there's nobody younger that's better than him right now?
I always
that's
think
just
of
out there.
like the like the Gridiron Heights or whatever, whenever they would do Joe Flacco, they would always be like, not elite or whatever, the elite quarterback. I don't know. For a while, he was hyped up around that Super Bowl run, but then dude fell off a cliff.
yeah.
What do you have to do? Like average like 20 points for his career total with that defense? Like maybe even less to like win a majority of every game.
Couple touchdowns,
I would say
couple handoffs.
I'm not saying he was bad, but like, come on.
I would say like back then, not like back in that day, but like a couple of years ago, like scoring 20 points wasn't a lot, but it wasn't nothing to scoff at either. Especially like with that Ravens defense allowing people like 13 points a game. Like you just needed to score 2 touchdowns and you're more than likely winning.
What quarterback today would you compare Joe Flacco during his Super Bowl run to?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, really?
I think Burrow's better actually.
Yeah, I would.
Hopefully, we'll see.
I would put Joe Burrow ahead.
His injuries are piling up though. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll talk about that later.
I don't even know who to compare him to. Yeah, that's a wild.
It's a tough
take.
comparison. Back to the game, I will go with the Los Angeles Rams. I liked what I saw from their offense. Kyron Williams coming back was absolutely stellar. He looked like he didn't miss a beat. So good looks by him. But probably the best game of this 4 o'clock window, we have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Philadelphia Eagles, rematch of the NFC Championship. And let's hope Brock Purdy doesn't get Tommy John in the middle of the game again, because if that's the case, we are going to be in for a bad showcase of a game. I'm not wishing it upon him. Yeah, I'll knock on wood. I'll knock on all of what you want. I want to see a good matchup. I think this is going to be a really good matchup between these two teams. Who can run the ball better in this game? Who can dominate time of possession? Can they stop the brotherly shove? These are all the questions that people picking this game are asking. Surprisingly, San Fran is favored to win this matchup in Philadelphia.
What?
Yes, they're favored by 2.5 points, which is a little bit of absurd, but I don't blame people for doing that. I think the San Fran team is better overall. But if you let Philly play their play style, you're in for a long day, all right? So I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they take care of that home field advantage. But should these two teams meet again in the playoffs, if it's in Philly, good luck, 49ers. But 49ers better hope they either win this one or just Philly drops a couple games and then they can secure that number 1 seed and then they play in Levi's Stadium in the playoffs. But those are some things to look forward to in the future.
Yeah, this is a really fun matchup here, man. I'm liking it. Hopefully Brock Purdy, like you said, doesn't get hurt. And we finally got a game between these two squads, dude. I'm really excited for this. This past week between the Bills and the Eagles was such a good matchup. My neighbor came over. We watched a little bit of it. It was a fun time. Just watching two good offenses, two talented squads go back and forth. Can't wait to see it again this week and then followed up with the Green Bay game later, which is just going to be an awesome slate of Sunday football for me personally. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Eagles here, man. They just find a way to get it done. They might not look pretty early on or throughout most of the game, but they have a certain way of turning it on in like the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left in the game. Down 10, they're like, all right, whatever. Every drive is a 1st and 8. We're going to get this done. And they always do. They have great coaching. They have great talent on that offensive line. I think they're going to get it done here. This is nothing against San Francisco. They're a great team. But the Eagles, they are going to get it done. I mean, is Jalen Hurts in the conversation for MVP here? I have no clue. Christian McCaffrey is also in contention for that as well as a running back, which is insane. But let's see what happens here. Whoever wins this game might be in the race, the leader for MVP.
I feel like we've said this a lot, but this might be one of the best games of the year. Yet again, NFL knows how to schedule. I'm excited. You want to know what's going on right now? Philadelphia right now is seeing this spread, and they're licking their lips. They're like, we're winning this game. And I'm here to tell you, Eagles fans, I'm here to spoil the news. I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
I'm going with the road team. I've been an Eagle hater throughout the year so far, trying to spoil them, and I've been unlucky. This is the week I finally get my vengeance and win. I'm taking the 49ers. That defense is wild. As long as the offense can stay healthy and put some points up on the board, the Eagles are going to struggle, I think. It is going to be an exciting, probably playoff matchup, maybe down the road, but this is going to be a great game. I wish they would have flexed it for Sunday Night Football because the Chiefs are going to kill Green Bay. But anyways, I'm taking San Fran here.
All right, we'll get to that Chiefs-Green Bay game really quick. But another point is, it's a fine line for me deciding the Eagles over the 49ers. The only way I really see 49ers coming out on top here is if they come out and score points in bunches early and often and make Philadelphia get away from that running attack, because 49ers can get up high and then start running out the clock, and then you're in trouble. But if Philadelphia can just dominate possession, all that stuff, I think it's a big challenge for this Eagles team, even at home. It's a tough one to call. But Joey, what do we have next?
Yeah, man, we got the Super Bowl I rematch between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers. Patrick Mahomes' first time playing in the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Listen, lock in the pick for me for Kansas City. The reverse psychology's been working for me. But I think the Packers are going to freaking win this game, man. I have a lot of faith in them. I think that they're going to show a lot of promise here. We're going to shock the world. Jordan Love is going to outplay Patrick Mahomes in this game. Call me crazy, but I think it's going to happen, boys. The Packers are freaking on the roll for a playoff win or a playoff berth. Hopefully, we're facing an AFC team here. Our last games are against all NFC teams. If we go 5-1 in our next 6, great. If we lose this game, whatever, no big deal. But imagine if we do win. I'm hyped for it. Lock me in for Kansas City, though.
Yeah, I put both of the logos there. For
okay,
It's a little different. I was flipping them for a little bit just because you're like, I think the Packers are going to win, but I'm picking Kansas City.
Oh, man. I have to.
I don't blame you. I mean, I think the Packers are finding a good way to run that offense and where it's complementary to Jordan Love. But this Chiefs team is finally starting to click, and we're finally starting to see Patrick Mahomes get comfortable with these receivers. And that is the biggest X factor for this game. If Mahomes can be on a good communication and understand, did you guys see that pass he did to Kelsey?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, that one was probably the best spot I've probably seen all season. I don't even think Tua can throw one like that. And what Tyreek says, Tua is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. That was a really nice throw. I've never seen throws like that. That was beautiful. Point is, I'm going with Kansas City here. As much as I would love to see the Packers win and bring the Chiefs down a step, I don't think it's the time right now. I think the Chiefs are finally starting to get on a roll. But do not let the Packers get ahead early. If they get ahead early, the Chiefs might be in trouble. Similar to can be said to what happened last week. They got down by 14 points early. But I think that's not enough. You need to be up 28 against this Kansas City Chiefs team, which can the Packers do? I'm not too sure. But I think they'll put up a really, really good fight.
Give me the Chiefs. Screw Green Bay. Patrick Mahomes is going to have a coat on by the end of the third quarter, and Blaine Gabbert's going to finish this game out against the Packers. Packers stink. Kansas City's going to win. Enough said. This game's going to be worse than the Bears game was on Monday night. It's going to be a blowout.
Dude. I don't think so. I
All
disagree.
right, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we do disagree. Yeah.
All right, Chris, back to you. What do we have for Monday night?
Monday Night Football. I wish Joe Burrow was playing. We got the Cincinnati Bengals going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Joey and I had Skyline yesterday. Shout out Skyline Chili.
So good.
So good. Too
So
bad
good.
the Bengals are probably going to lose. I'm going to take Jacksonville at home. Even though they've looked lackluster, to say the least, lately, they need to start figuring some things out. And this is a good game to prove it. They don't really get a lot of Monday night games, a lot of primetime games, so they definitely need to showcase what they got here, I feel like. Hopefully they come out, they do well, and go Jags, baby. Duval!
Yeah, the Jags are going to take a W in this game. Cincinnati kind of stinks now that they don't have Joe Burrow. He was their heart and soul, and now it's gone. All they got is left is Skyline chili, which is delicious, by the way, but it doesn't get you a W in the NFL. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars here, but give me a 5-way. Well, you can.
This matchup.
If you know, you know.
5 ways are pretty good. If Joe Burrow was playing in this matchup, I would be all on board with the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they were in a really good stride with him. But you saw what happened last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This Cincinnati team is different with Jake Browning. Another week of practice, a week getting familiar with the first team guys. I think it could be very beneficial. But can they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars? That's going to be a tough task for the defense because I think the offense won't be fine, but they're going to score a couple points here and there. And it's really going to come down if the defense can make it a rough day for Trevor Lawrence. If they can, then the Bengals have a chance. But in all reality, you have to rock with the Jacksonville Jaguars here. Big home game. I think they want to separate themselves. If I'm not mistaken, they are holding the number 1 overall spot in the AFC. I could be wrong. The Ravens are.
Yeah, they just lost it. Yeah.
But they're holding their spot in the division. They got a big win against the Texans last week. I'm all on board with the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. But last but not least, we have the teams on bye. We have the Buffalo Bills, Chicago Bears, Las Vegas Raiders, Minnesota Vikings, New York Giants, and Baltimore Ravens. Quick run around every team. Buffalo, another tough loss. Josh Allen has never won in overtime. Chicago Bears, big primetime win. See if they can keep it rolling. Las Vegas Raiders, just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, last 2 losses have been against the Dolphins and Chiefs. I would not really scold them for losing those games, but
throw it to Devontae.
Yeah, pretty much. And then Minnesota Vikings, is the Josh Dobbs hype over? I don't know.
Hopefully.
New York Giants, Joey, what do you think? A little
Tommy Brajol, little Tommy Cutlass, little Tommy Bag of Donuts, little Tommy Boombots. How you doing, little Jersey Tough? Live with my mother, my father. She making me cutlets. A little Annie Paz, little pizza geen, little stick of pizziole, whatever the hell, whatever we got. A little bit of this.
Wait, when he scored the touchdown, everyone's just going like this around the stadium. That was sick.
Stud. They played the Sopranos theme song for him when he ran out. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Dude, he ran out
so
the tunnel and said, "Woke up this morning," and then Saquon was going, "Jersey."
Dude, that's so sick.
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
And then last but not least, the Baltimore Ravens, the current number 1 seed in the entire AFC. So.
Flock,
dude. I mean, any last words, any thoughts on these teams on bye or?
Screw the teams on bye.
Whoa!
Green Bay's gonna get a freaking upset W against the Chiefs. Calling it now. I'm telling everybody here, but we can't. Tommy Cutlets is having a nice Sunday dinner, watching some good football.
Calling it now, but I'm too afraid to take my team. Well, you know what? I would take my team, but
I know it's been working.
So.
Are you guys gonna win the bye?
Good luck. Yeah, we might lose. Like next thing you know, like Justin Fields walks up some stairs and tears his hamstring. It's like, all right, jeez, all right, here we go. Drake May, welcome to the Bears. But anyways, no, we should be all right. Get a little healthy, we'll see what happens. Coming off this bye.
You think Caleb's gonna tell you guys?
I would, dude. I'd be like, yo, honestly.
I ain't declaring. I'm coming back.
Let me go back to college. I'm making enough. I'm straight.
What if Caleb William specifically calls you out and he's like, I'm not going there
because that Chris Wright kid.
Yeah, if Chris is still a fan of the Chicago Bears, I'm not going.
I'd be like, dang, I'm a Trojans fan too.
He's like, I'm transferring. Last year, going to Bama.
I'd be like, roll tide, baby, let's go.
Bears will take for another year. Oh, man. Last comments on the Dolphins. Let's hope they have a big win against the Washington Commanders. Aside from that, I'm excited to see a lot of these matchups. Most excited for the San Francisco-Philly one. And there was another one that was like said sneaky good. Oh, the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. I know it's gonna be a bad game, but it's gonna be low key interesting, and that's like the draw to it. The Thursday night game gonna be pretty good too, so I would keep my eyes on that. But aside from that, that wraps up Week 13 of NFL Game Picks. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Hey, come on, hey, a little good noche, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.